Hello everyone! Officially starting on April 1st, Amazon's newest fee has rolled out to sellers. You might have heard or already know about this new low inventory fee. In this video, we'll break down what this fee is, how it may affect you as an Amazon seller, and some tips for you how to deal with these newest fees. Let's dive in. First, let's clarify some things about these new fees. So who will these new fees apply to? These low inventory fees will only apply to professional sellers. New professional sellers will be exempt for the first 365 days after their first inventory received date. How much are these fees going to be? To see how much these fees are, you'll first need to determine the size tier and shipping weight. It is also important to note that the less historic days of supply you have, the higher the low inventory fees will be. But depending on size, weight, and your historic days of supply, you'll probably see between 32 cents to $1.11 fees increase for small standard to large standard products. To view your historic days of supply, go to FBA inventory within Seller Central. On the dashboard there, you'll be able to see the historic days of supply, and it'll display the greater of the long and short term. If you hover over details, you can see that it shows both short and long-term historic days of supply for both the last 30 and 90 days. In our example, you can see that our listing is exempted from this fee. Hovering over the information icon, you can see a breakdown of why it might be exempt. In this case, because our example account is a new professional seller account. Historic days of supply is the average daily inventory units on hand divided by the average daily ship units over both 90 days for the long term and 30 days for the short term. For example, if your average daily inventory for the last 90 days is 243.6 units and your daily ship units is 5.8 units, your long-term historic days of supply is 42. Then if your average daily inventory for the last 30 days is 220.5 units, your daily ship units is 12.6 units, your short-term historic days supply is 17.5. Because we take the larger of these two, your long-term historic days supply is above 28, and your listings will not incur the low inventory fee. What products will these apply to? According to the help article on Seller Central, the low inventory level fee only applies to a product when both its long-term, the last 90 days, and short-term, the last 30 days, historic days of supply are below 28 days. Let's break that down and look at two examples provided by Amazon. One that has incurred the low inventory fee and one that hasn't. Our first example is a large standard product that weighs between 4 to 8 ounces. Long-term historic days supply is 18 and short-term is 24. Because both of these values are under 28, this product will incur the low inventory fee. Now let's calculate the total fulfillment fees for this product. For this sample product, our standard fulfillment fee is $4.08 per unit, and our low inventory level fee is 36 cents per unit, which is the fee for 21 to 28 historic days supply for this size and shipping tier. The new total FBA fulfillment fee for this product will be $4.08 plus 36 cents, which will be $4.44 per unit. Our second example is a small standard product that weighs between 6 to 8 ounces. Long-term historic days supply is 40 and short-term is 20. Because one of these is above 28, the long-term, this product will not incur the low inventory fee. Let's still go through and calculate the fulfillment fees for this product. For this sample product, our standard fulfillment fee is $3.49 per unit, and our low inventory level fee is $0.00 per unit because the long-term historic days is above 28 days of supply. The new total FBA fulfillment fee for this product will be $3.49 plus 0, which will be the standard $3.49 per unit. So now that we've gone through all this info about what these new fees mean, you might be thinking, well, okay, but does it apply to me? As with most fees from Amazon, information about this new fee is severely lacking and questions to support have led to vague responses. But here's what we think we've been able to figure out. Because this fee will apply to sellers whose long and short-term historic days supply have both fallen below 28 days, this will mostly affect arbitrage sellers that purchase the same products over and over to sell on Amazon. The general thought for most of the Amazon community is that this won't affect sellers who purchase smaller amounts of different products to resell, or if you're doing test buys. If you're doing arbitrage, but purchase lots of different items and then sell them out before moving to the next, the thought is that because you haven't hit the point of having long-term historic data, there won't be a fee. But as with most things, Amazon hasn't provided enough info about all the details of this. And if you sell seasonal items, be aware that they'll also be affected by the low inventory fees. The only ways to avoid will be to make sure that you totally sell out your inventory or make sure you have more than 28 days of supply after the selling season has ended. But both of these may come with a bit of risk. You may still incur a low inventory fee as you try to liquidate, as your historic days supply may have dropped below the threshold, and conversely, if you try to keep some inventory to avoid this, you may end up getting inventory storage fees before these seasonal products start selling again. You might be wondering how to avoid these fees. The best advice we have is to keep a close eye on your inventory and historic days supply and manage this to make sure your supply remains above the safe 28 historic days of supply. Amazon's answer is to enroll in their new Amazon Warehousing and Distribution (AWD) auto replenishment service, where they may become eligible for a low inventory level fee waiver. While you may get a waiver that will exempt you from this low inventory fee, AWD will be another fee that will affect your bottom line. If you want to use your BQool Repricer to help you avoid these low inventory fees, here's what we can suggest to help you manage your inventory and avoid these fees. So the main issue is the average amount of inventory for the last 30 and 90 days both falling under 28. If one is above and one is below, Amazon looks at the larger and you won't receive any fee. Going back to FBA inventory in your Seller Central account, you can check the historic days supply you have left. If you see a number that's much higher than 28 historic days, you can manually set this listing to a rule that's more aggressive for sales to move inventory. If your number is approaching 28, you have two options. First, you can continue to sell fast and try to liquidate this product until you're either able to restock or completely sell out and move to a different product. With this option, there's a risk you may still have low inventory fee, but it'll be likely for much less units. Second, you could raise your min price in hopes that you can slow down the sales, which will potentially balance the historic days supply to stay above 28. If your historic days are below 28, you can also do the same as above. You can either quickly liquidate the product to reduce the number of units that you have this fee, or you can slow down your sales until you're able to restock. It is important to remember that each competitive environment is different, and this is just our suggestion on ways to mitigate the effects of a new low inventory fee through managing your inventory and by using the BQool Repricing Central. For more informative videos similar to this, where we share the newest updates from Amazon and more tips and tricks for how to become a better seller on Amazon, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube and podcast. We're BQool. We keep innovating to help you stay cool with your Amazon business.